I like circus music. Like straight up. I don't know if that's normal. I really like it. What's up, Bannock folks? Welcome back to our channel. Phil, there were announcements stirring a couple months ago that Matty Matheson of cooking fame, The Bear, I didn't watch that show. He's famous for various things involving food mainly. Also just like a friend of the Ontario hardcore scene for the most part. He had teamed up with Wade from Alexis on Fire and Gallows and Black Lungs, who we've talked about it, but Black Lungs has a really good album.
A Pagan Holiday?
Pagan Holiday. Black Lungs' Pagan Holiday is such a solid record. I always recommend people check that out. Wade is probably my favorite offshoot member of Alexis on Fire. Like his stuff with Gallows is really, really good. I think criminally underrated over here.
Doom's Children.
Doom's Children is really fun. He put up that Halloween samples record. There were rumors that basically there was a band with him, Wade, the Romano brothers. In case you're not aware, that's Dan and Ian Romano from Attack in Black, I would say most famously. And then they've had other bands together, other bands apart. Dead Only Better was a huge band for us growing up. I loved Dead Only Better. I really, really did. And early Attack in Black was very, very fast and punky, but all their music's really cool. They became very eclectic. They were involved with the first Monk EP. Matty Matheson's rumored hardcore band is real. Their band name is Pigpen. They did just drop a new video. The first song as well. Their first show was recorded, and I believe that is the footage used for this video. Now, I have found, and I wanted to talk to you about this before we get into their first video itself. This band was already added to Furnace Fest, which I don't think is necessarily a surprise, but it's been very divisive, not only just on the Reddit hardcore and stuff like that, but even in our own sort of local scene. I've seen a lot of talk about fuck these dudes, you know what I mean? And I just I just wonder, because there's a part of me that I'd say for me, it's definitely not fuck these dudes. It makes no sense. I just want to hear what this music sounds like. That's first and foremost where I'm at. I don't have stakes in it. If it's cool, it's cool. If it's not that great, I'll move on with my life and nothing will matter. You know what I mean? Nothing changes either way. There's either a new band to listen to or there isn't, and there's plenty of other bands. But people seem really invested in the conversation about this band, basically being an industry plant almost is the way it's being described, even though these are all just for the most part veterans of the music scene. Obviously Matty Matheson isn't known for being a musician, but I mean everyone else in this band is you can't really argue that these guys haven't put in their dues musically. So I throw the question to you. What do you think it is? What do you think? Is the Pigpen situation crazy?
The Pigpen situation is out of control, my friend. It is unfathomable. No, I mean, it's a celebrity band. I don't know how else to frame it for you folks. I off camera, I said the same thing to Ty. If someone like Tony Hawk is going to create a band, the same thing would be the same discussion would be had. This guy's got a following outside of music. It's mainly involved with food, but he's got an Emmy and he's well known and he's got acting credits. So it's why not start a hardcore band, tour, and people are just going to go out to see Matty. People aren't even going to necessarily be involved with the music. People aren't even necessarily going to be invested in the music. They just want to go see Matty in person. I don't know if you remember when Frankie Muniz had a band. People would just go to that band because Frankie Muniz was playing drums. He wasn't even playing vocals. So people wanted to go see Frankie Muniz. So it's the same thing. And I think it's just a little bit more discussed because hardcore is an area where there's a lot of discussion always happening.
I don't think that something like this could ever really be perceived as bad for the scene, right? Because again, if you're bringing new people in, unless you want your scene to be insular, right? Unless you are literally trying to gatekeep it, you want to keep it as low key as possible. Like, if someone comes out to a hardcore show just because they like Matty Matheson or they listen to this band because they like Matty Matheson, like at the end of the day, like you're going to be able to bring people in who don't typically listen to this music, and you might get more people into it. Like we don't know what the situation's going to be like. Like I mean, my guess, to be absolutely honest with this band, is they're just going to be like a band that writes an album, maybe tours it once a year, and then does festivals. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be the most active thing in the world. I don't think you can make the argument that Matty Matheson is doing this for money. This is the wrong venture if you're trying to make a bunch of money. Like starting like, and again, a hardcore band with like Dan and Ian Romano. Like you're talking about like, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be like, I don't mean this in a dismissive way, but like real hipsters.
No, and it's funny that you're bringing this up because there has been rumors and it has been said that I think they were like $25 tickets to get into the door and $60 shirts were being sold. So people are already kind of upset with that being said. It's funny that you said that, like Matty Matheson being in this for the money. Is that the case? Maybe not, but it could be a vehicle for people to come and see him. He could probably do meet and greets for money. I can see it being a lucrative venture for him, to be honest.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. So one thing I want to touch on is the argument about Furnace Fest. I think has been a little disingenuous just because they didn't like, from how I understand what happened, Furnace Fest had announced its bands, and then Pigpen was just added in after onto a day. So if that's the case, they didn't take anyone's slot by suddenly becoming a band as people are perceiving it, right? Apparently they wrote this album a few years ago and they've like been a band and just haven't been doing anything. Like as far as I understand, it's not like some band missed out. Like this was like an afterthought. Band got announced. Furnace Fest was like, oh, this will probably be, you know, draw some hype because of, again, yes, obviously Matty Matheson. So, yeah.
And well, look at the lineup for Furnace Fest. It's got like Bury Your Dead and like old school, like 2000 bands that haven't played in a while. I think Maylene played. I don't know if they're playing this year, but they played the latest years that have happened. So this festival is obviously like a nostalgic fest in its own way. And they definitely fit the bill with someone like Wade being on, like, I don't know, like Alexa on Fire may even be playing Furnace Fest, you know what I mean? So like it may have just been an easy like call, like, hey, can Pigpen just open like on a first day? Like it's an addition, like you were saying, it's an addition to the festival. They weren't slotted.
Yeah, when people were upset, I was like expecting to like check the poster and see that they were like in like the top 10 listed bands on a day or something, and I couldn't even find them on the flyer because they were added afterwards. Like, so yeah, I don't know. This band, I feel like, is getting a lot of unnecessary hate. This is a weird way to go into a reaction.
Hey, sometimes
this is a weird way. There's just such a weird discussion around it, right?
Let's try to go as unbiased as possible.
Well, exactly. That's kind of something I wanted to say is I want to go into this just with like positive vibes because that's how I've been feeling. When I heard about this band, I didn't think about like, I don't know. I just heard that he was in a band. I was excited that Dan and Ian Romano and Wade were writing music together. Like that's like what made me excited. Like Matty Matheson was just sort of like a part of it, like a part of an equation that brought an equation that I was much more interested to into the table, right? You know what I mean? And no disrespect to Matty Matheson. I'm not familiar with any of his music. I'm very familiar with the music from Dan, Ian, and Wade. So I mean, hearing that they've been writing hardcore music together, that's exciting. And again, any chance I get to hear Dan and Ian Romano write any sort of hardcore punk, I want it. It made me love Monk immediately because it was infused with that Dan and Ian Romano-ness. And then Frank took it, and with their new EP, he's really honed his own sound, which I also really, really enjoy.
Matty's got a really cool story. He's come over a lot of stuff. He's features on the song Dead Set on Living on Cancer Bats. I'm a big fan of a lot of his work. Okay,
that's fair.
And I'm going to go into this unbiased as possible. Let's try to focus strictly on the music. It is going to be a lot of live footage, so we know what to expect in that. I've already seen a couple live clips in that, but let's try to focus solely on the music. And yeah, let's get into this.
Let's do it. All right, Phil. Shh, come here. I'm going to whisper so the audience can't hear us.
Okay.
Okay. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, buddy. You're doing good cop, bad cop. So you be good cop. I'm gonna be bad cop. Okay.
Okay, you be bad cop.
I'm gonna hate him. I'm gonna hate on it so fucking hard, dude. I hate it so hard, dude. Oh, by the way, this song is called Mental Mentality. I didn't mention that. It's in the title. Okay. What, do you need me to fucking hold your hand through everything? This is good. This is just good. It reminds me of like Gel, like that sort of like sludgy, very like
trash
talk, the slow, like just like constant sort of Bobby power chords in there, very sludgy, fun. I love the mix of Wade and Matty doing vocals. I like Matty's vocals, just like a very like reverbed out like hardcore yell. The lyrics seem like fine, super competent. Like, again, it's not like groundbreaking stuff, but this is like a really solid hardcore band that, again, I think a lot of people would be stoked on. It's so weird. I'm glad this is good, because now I feel like I can actually like put some like actual defense behind it, right? Like, and be like, no, like, I don't know. This is solid. This is fun. I would love to hear this live. It's a little doomy, a little gloomy. Like, this is like classic, like reverbed out, like early 2000s-y, like terror hardcore. I like this. This bangs.
Yeah, it's funny you say terror. I thought Madball.
Absolutely Madball.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna say more, so I started sipping. Started sipping, Phil. That was sick. Again, like, it was fine.
This is hell.
This is, without like as much of like the metal flashiness, which is not, which again isn't for like a lack of skill. Like, you're talking about like Dan Romano and Wade McNeil. Like, they can play their instruments. You know what I mean? Like, this is a very It's a very intentional sound, that very dungeonous, sludged out, slow, reverbed out, shouty hardcore. Like, I don't know. I'm stoked on this. I think this sounds great. I'm excited to hear like an EP or an album or whatever they've written with this. And I think that, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'd throw these guys on a festival. I'd like to see it. Also, I do remember, and I want to bring this up quickly in case we have comments from people being like, one of the problem was their first show, they were a headliner. It's a celebrity band. Like they're gonna pull the most people at that show. It's typically how headlining works. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know. We shouldn't be so jaded. You know what I mean? Like, we should just be like, again, this could be like a situation like a band like the Cancer Bats that's always helping out local bands and stuff like that. Like, we don't know which way the wind's gonna blow with this. Like, this could be like extremely helpful, or they're just a band that plays a festival no matter. There's no way it's a detriment to the scene. There's no way that this band's existence in any way is a bad thing for anyone. I promise that. And the band happens to sound really good because it's fucking Wade writing hardcore, which I really enjoy. It's Dan writing hardcore, which I really enjoy. Like, I love this type of hardcore, and it's being written by two guys whose guitar work I've loved since I was a teenager. Like, yeah. Again, like, Matty Matheson sounds good, but he's not even what I'm like excited for in a project like this. Like, I loved that instrument, like that instrumental itself. You could just play that for me in a room, and I'd love it just the same.
You know what's interesting about Matty too is put all of his content aside. Put everything you've ever thought or known about him. Just look at him as this big dude covered in tattoos. How is that not an entertaining band to see? How is that not entertaining to see a man like that shout into a mic so aggressively? Just, you know, like, sometimes it's not necessarily all about the music. It's about your image, and he's definitely got that image. I've definitely seen several bands where I'm like, I don't know if I'm sold on the sound, but like, the singer right now is selling it to me, right? You know what I mean?
Well, again, if the singer of Harm's Way was on a reality TV show, his presence on stage wouldn't feel the same anymore. You know what I mean? It'd be like watching Ronnie from Jersey Shore at a hardcore band. You'd be like, I know you, idiot. I don't know. This might be a bad take. I think people just like hate him because he's like successful, and his band gets to kind of just like jump to the finish line. But I mean, you have to understand that outside of Matty, everyone else involved in this band has been writing hardcore punk music. When you talk about the Romano brothers, you get into so many genres, it's hard to even explain. Like, these guys have been writing music for like 20 plus years. Like,
I think jumping the line would be an acceptable thing to be angry about if this was like 20 years ago, when maybe music wasn't so competitive. I forget how much music is being uploaded to Spotify in a day, but like the amount of artists out there is incredible, and we're all at it. Trust me, I'm there with you guys. You're at it too. Like, we're all at it, and I understand being upset at seeing somebody, like what you're saying, jump the line, kind of already being able to do this. But like you're saying, these people have put in their time. Matty's a celebrity. They are not really there to waste anybody's time, so maybe the $60 shirts are expensive, but these are full-time musicians who have families and houses and kids and necessarily can't afford to miss out on some of that opportunity, I guess. I don't know if I'm justifying it. Well, hate me in the comments. I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, if a shirt's too expensive, like, people, like, this might sound dumb, like or defensive for them, but like, you really don't have to buy them, right? If you make a product too expensive and people don't buy it, you fucked up. You know what I mean? So if a bunch of people are buying it, then they priced it fine. You know what I mean? Like, I get it might not feel like fair. I mean, I know. Okay, no, I'm not even gonna get into the minutia of that. I know that sometimes there's a rule where when bands are playing a show, everyone has to have the same pricing, right? But you can't like undersell the headliner and stuff like that. So I guess in a situation like that, maybe you have a point, right? If they had some sort of rule where they're like, we're selling $60 shirts, which means your shirt that's normally $20 is $60 tonight at our show, that sucks. Other than that, if the shirt's too expensive, they're only shooting themselves in the foot. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all, I can't, and you know what's silly is that there's been this much discussion about this band. Their merch is like, and this was before anyone had heard a song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the song slaps. Like, I don't know. It's just so funny to think that if this band just came out, had a little bit of, if it was a real industry plant where they just pretended, if these were a bunch of nobodies, you know what I mean? And they were just pushed in the right direction, I bet everyone would be stoked on this band.
Yeah, exactly.
You've had a lot of experience, like playing in bands, you know, over the course of so many years. You've been doing this for a long time. You could have very well been one of those people who could have easily felt jaded after putting in a bunch of time and being like, this band, you know, that just sounds like fucking every other band that sounds like Gel, gets to just like play Furnace Fest now. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's easy to be angry about that when you've been putting in work, but I mean, at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't think that this is taking away from everything. I think the band is cool. I'd be interested to catch their show live, and from what I understand, most of these guys are pretty good dudes. So,
what do you think, folks?
Obviously, you endorse him. Obviously, you endorse him hard. I was supposed to be bad cop. Fuck, but everything I said, scratch that. Fuck Matty Matheson. Real hardcore is Mind Force. If you're not Mind Force, Furnace Fest, just Mind Force for 3 days, 8 hours.
All right, folks, what did you think? Leave it all down below in the comments. Is hardcore popular, Chaos? Sorry.
What?
What do you think, folks? Sorry. There you have it, folks. That was our reaction to Pigpen's Mental Mentality. What did you think? Leave it all down below in the comments. We want to hear the discussion. Were we right? Did we wrong? Did we touch on everything that you wanted to hear? Are you upset? Are you with us? Leave it all down in the comments. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, that helps us out a bunch. Give this video a like. Follow us on all our social media platforms. That's just at Bandecdotes, BANDECDOTES.
You know what time it is. It is that time where we thank the members of the channel, the members of the channel. First up, oh, hi, Matty. It's nice to see you. I heard you're a big sellout.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
I heard. Yeah, well, no, it's great. It's really nice to meet you. So tell me about headlining your very first show in a band.
Well, I'd like to talk about that, but we've got members to talk about.
That's true. Thank you so much for reminding me, Matty. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I would like to thank our first member. He's a guy named Ty. Isn't that fantastic? That's my name too. Ty, thank you. I know, right? Crazy. Thank you so much for becoming a member. We really appreciate it. Next up, we have the dog, the one who was let out. Do you remember the Baja Men? They were wondering who let the dog out. It was Aaron they let out. It was motherfucking Aaron they let out. I don't know why I did this. Aaron, you are the dog. That's why we were barking. That's why we were barking. That's why he's doing that. That's why he was doing that. But we really do appreciate you becoming a member. Thank you so much. And then finally, Mr. One to join the channel first. He was the first one who did it. It is more Guy Fieri's donkey sauce.
Oh,
that's exactly right. You slap it on, and what are things Guy Fieri says?
Flavor Town.
Crunchy. Does he ever refer to things as crunchy?
That's a spicy mama.
Is that something he says? Do people watch him say that?
Mamma mia.
Right. He's very Italian, I think, is his shtick. So somehow that applies to you. But yeah, thank you very much for being a member. More Guy Fieri's donkey sauce. We really appreciate you. You were the first one to come on board and be like, you know what? I need these guys to keep making content. And that is shocking to us. We appreciate you so much. If you would like to be thanked in this fashion, there is a join button down below. You can give us a couple dollars to keep this thing going. It really, really helps us out. It let people know. It let us know that people care and they want us to keep this thing going. Thank you so much for your support. We really, really honestly appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching the video.
I'll see you guys later.
All right, you take care, Maddie.